Welcome back to Fight Night with me, Gareth A. Davis, and him, Spencer the Omen Oliver. But now we're joined by a British boxing star. We're talking to this man.
He's put him down with the first punch of the fight. Put him down with the right hand, right on the button. There's still a bit of blood coming from the mouth of Ralph Vilkans now. Straight jab and a right hand into the body and an uppercut inside. And a left hook from Yarde.
98-92, declaring your winner, Anthony, the Beast from the East, Yarde!
Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde, a very warm welcome. Let's have his microphone up. We got the wrong microphone up. Thank you. Anthony Yarde, a very warm welcome to you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Very good. Right, first thing out there, you were having a decaf, I was having a coffee. I don't know what Spencer was having, but whatever it was fizzing anyway, like he does, fizzes with that personality and his charisma. We were talking about the planets being aligned right now and the moon. Have you been looking at the stars in the last few days?
Yeah. Every so often, I like to look up. I feel like something I've realised, us as human beings, we're always looking at what's right in front of us, or like literally right in front of us. We never take time to look up, and look at the biggest space that we can possibly look at. And that's just looking at nature, looking at, again, as you're saying, the stars, the planet, the moon, the sun. And to me, it's just beautiful.
It's a clock. I always talk about the universe as a clock, and obviously religions keep us on track and they give us faith and all those things. The fact that there's all those planets aligned with the moon at the moment, are you able to reflect how that makes you feel about things, decisions you make, all those kind of things?
For me, it just makes me happy. When I look up and I look at nature, I'm the kind of person where it's like appreciation of God, appreciation of like something that's just been running from beginning of time perfectly. Because us as humans, we're imperfect. Sometimes things around us, things we make can be imperfect, but it's perfect when you look up.
I'm going to let Spencer get into the fight stuff in a minute, but did you hear him talking about his repetitive dreams? You can imagine how intense his dreams were. Do you have dreams about fighting? Have you dreamt about fighting Joshua Buatsi, for example?
Nah. He's not in my thought process until I'm the kind of person, when the fight's made and now that person's my main attention, that person's got my full focus. We've seen it, I've asked for this fight, I've wanted this fight, I've tried to get this fight, it hasn't happened, he's taken other options. So my only focus right now is the fight that I've got coming up.
Have you got a dream in your mind that you've had about different fights, though? Or you're in a ring, or it's a nightmare, or it's a dream where you're going to get the great thing, you're lifting everything above your head, your hands are being raised. Have you had it? I've
had daydreams, mainly. But in terms of being fully asleep, I've had maybe a couple in my whole career. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I don't know. When I go to sleep, I try to be at peace as much as possible, thinking about nothing.
Well, Lyndon Arthur, go again. Yes. April the 26th for the third time. It's the Trilogy. One apiece. I mean, surely this guy now must be ingrained in the brain a little bit. I talked to Gareth about, different fighters that think differently. And so I was very intense and that was in my mind the whole time in the build-up. Like fighters are like that. You go to sleep and you wake up thinking about the fighter. Surely, for a third time, you won a piece, Lyndon Arthur, on this huge platform at this stage of your career, must be in your mind.
For me, it's not really him. It's me being the best version of myself, and me, again, getting to the stages I want to get to in my career. Again, it's a massive platform. Turkey Our Sheikh has done amazing things for boxing. It's my first fight on his show. So I'm appreciative and got to make the most of it.
Were you saying about, it's not about him, it's about where you want to get to or everything else, but he's standing in your way right now, and it's at this very important stage of your career. Like I say to you, you won that last fight. He won the first fight in lockdown, behind closed doors, unusual circumstances. So I can understand underperforming in that fight. You got the victory in the fourth round in that second fight just 2 years later and done it in massive style. But now we go again. But now this is really, really important on this huge platform and what lies ahead for you. You talk about Joshua Buatsi, other world title fights. You had that brilliant fight with Beterbiev, but it's a must-win situation here. So it must be very intense for you.
I feel like every fight I'm in has always been a must-win. That's just me and my mentality. It don't matter who I'm in the ring with, because again, if I didn't win these fights before today, no one would want to speak to me. I wouldn't be spoke about. You just fade off into the background. So in my mind and my mentality, every opponent that's put in front of me, I've got a job to do on it.
So you were in talkSPORT recently, or you did an interview with us where you said that politics was in the way.
Yes.
What's shifted? Where have the goalposts moved then for this to happen?
I think just time.
Timing.
Time. I haven't lied about anything. Everything I've said throughout the whole process has come to fruition. I was out of contract. I had a fight under Sky Sports Boxer. I've done a 1-fight deal with them. And again, now I'm in a position where I'm fighting on the 26th of April.
And the threat of Lyndon Arthur, obviously he outboxed you in the first fight, and it was in lockdown. Was it the Albert Hall one that we were at? Yeah.
Split decision. Yeah.
Split decision. He outboxed you that night. I think that's fair to say. I know you were disappointed you didn't get the decision.
Yes.
But you thumped back in the second fight. Yeah. Dominant performance. Is that what you're going to deliver third time around?
100%, because I'm still annoyed about the first fight. Again, when I watch it back, when I was in the ring, I felt as if I won the fight. When I watch it back, I didn't think I'd done as well as I should have done. I should have got him out of there.
Not busy enough.
I wasn't busy enough. I was getting hit with silly jabs. But in terms of actually a fight, I've watched that fight back so many times. I would never actually agree that I lost the fight. Maybe a draw. And that's why it was a split decision, because the judges were split. The second fight, I was upset. I was angry. And I'm angry going into this fight as well. I've got a job to do.
I think the first fight, when you go, like we was in COVID times, behind closed doors, no atmosphere for a fighter. When you're doing that, you feed off the crowd. Certain fighters get energy from the crowd, and you do perform differently by the crowd's reaction and whatnot. That lifts you in fight. So I totally understand that first performance. You can forget about that one. The second one, you did do the job. But this one is a huge opportunity for you here, because we're on a Riyadh season card. Turki Al-Sheikh is making things happen, in boxing. He is the man that has taken all the politics away from it. So for you, getting the opportunity, this must be huge for you.
And also, to add to that, co-main, 60,000 people at Spurs. What does that do to your bones?
Well, I've headlined before. Beterbiev was in
Wembley Arena. We were there. We were there all week. It was amazing.
Massive event.
Fight of the year almost. I think we voted it as one of the
one. It was insane, mate. It was insane.
But this is stadium time.
Yeah, but for me, it's like when you get into the ring, everything becomes very small. Anyway.
Yeah.
You're only in that ring unless you're the type of fighter where your mind's elsewhere. You're looking around, looking at the environment.
You're not universal then. You're focused on that grain of sand that you're being.
Exactly, I'm very inner. I've got a job to do.
Anthony, mate, I've got to say it. I'm going to bring it up. I've got to do it, mate. You're a massive Arsenal fan. You're fighting at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, mate. Talk to me about that. And we your mates, your Arsenal fan mates.
Is that why you're blanking the stadium?
For me, it's just an honour to fight in a stadium.
That's a wicked stadium, by the way.
It's beautiful.
As far as stadiums go, it's the best.
It's the best. It's the best stadium. I can humbly say that as an Arsenal fan.
It's been built like it's a fighting stadium as well, because it goes up to the atmosphere.
Up. And I went to the Fury against Chisora. That was in Tottenham
on
Stadium.
December the 3rd, that was as well. They did a marvel there, pulling it off in the winter, didn't they? And also, of course, the first Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk fight. Were you there? You were there in your finery.
I didn't go. I watched it on TV.
Why not?
I watched it on TV. I was in the gym.
There you go.
I was training, and then as soon as I finished training, they were coming
out. It's got an amazing. I mean, Wembley Stadium is amazing, but the acoustics at Spurs. And you're literally, there's not lots of high rise around there. It's kind of 2-3-story buildings, and then suddenly it looks like a spaceship that you're going up to in the middle of the, I don't want to say the hood, but in the middle of Tottenham.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
It's like 5 layers, mate. It's just like insane. It's like a purpose-built fighting stadium.
Yeah,
that is what it's like.
Can I ask what that intensity that you've kept inside yourself, that you're still angry about the first fight, does that make you want to put it on him again? Like
100%. I feel like we don't necessarily like each other. That's from after that first fight. The first fight I was going through a lot. During COVID, I lost 5 family members.
You did.
And again, I'm a professional.
Rest in peace, yeah.
Professional, and I still want to go out there and entertain fans and, carry on with my career, etc. the fight didn't go my way, but it was his actions after that fight. You know, the bragging and saying, oh yeah, beat him with one hand, easy, all that kind of stuff. When it was a split decision. So again, there's animosity. There's animosity.
That never leaves, does it? You know, when that happens, once that seed's been planted, man, that's always there. I know it's like a gladiatorial sport and you get that mutual respect for your opponent.
Yeah, of course.
But I understand that.
For me, as soon as that bell rings, it's beef. Again, I'm from East London, so you know, like when you're in school and then everyone's talking and saying, oh, two people got a fight or whatever, your mindset changes. So as soon as that bell rings, I'm a different person.
Well, I remember one of the biggest things will never forget about you is the day you got on a bus and there were like 40 other kids from a gang.
Oh, yeah,
and you had to go and sit on the bus. Is this in Hackney or was it in Islington?
No, Leytonstone.
In Leytonstone, yeah. Different postcode. Yeah, the postcode thing.
Yeah.
And that you knew that you'd survive from it. And you had an energy to stop 40, maybe it wasn't 40, but it felt like 40.
It could have been more.
40,
it could have been more.
Who were going to take your life away from you.
Yeah, you know what? And this is why I say, again, thank God for the position I'm in today, because I faced a lot of situations when I was growing up, being from the area that I'm from. So what happened with me is, luckily, someone that was with them recognized me. And he was waving at the bus saying, yo, like, stop. I know him. And then when he took off his mask, I said, oh, and I named him. And then one of the boys was like, I don't care. It was just one of them things where, again, energy.
And at the time, if you're listening to this, Anthony-Yarde was kind of on the verge at the time, if I remember this right. We're going to go to break in a minute. On the verge of throwing javelin for Great Britain at the time.
No.
Was that later?
Tessa Sanderson was an Olympic javeler, and I was running for her academy, doing a 100-metre sprint.
It's unbelievable. Oh, you were sprinting?
Yeah, I was sprinting.
I think you should have thrown the javelin for Great Britain. You might still throw the javelin. You're listening to Fight Night on talkSPORT with me, Gareth Davis, and Spencer Oliver. Anthony will stay with us for the next 10 minutes. We're going to get into the rest of the light heavyweight division with Anthony next. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. Welcome back to Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Gareth A. Davis. Spencer Oliver is in the studio with me, as is the one and only Anthony-Yarde. We have got so much coming up for you tonight. Zelfa Barrett joins us, teammate of Lyndon Arthur, of course, trained by the great Pat Barrett. Anthony, we've got loads to get through till the top of the hour with you. First of all, light heavyweight, your light heavyweight rival, Joshua Buatsi, who we all want to see you in the ring with, joined us on talkSPORT last week and discussed the possibility of fighting this man alongside us in the studio tonight.
Do you want this fight, and does this fight happen in 2025?
I hope it happens this year. I saw Yarde, I think, on the weekend, and I said to him, you should always do what you're going to do, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I have to do, which is to keep active, to have these guaranteed fights and purses that are available to myself. I said, in the meantime, do what you're doing. I hope I definitely see you down the road, and I hope that happens, but there's no way I'm going to hit a pause button to make sure someone gets their stuff sorted out. No way. I'm going to always do what I'm doing. And like I said, after the Aziz fight, all these things came out about him and Warren. Cool, sort that out. But in the interim, I'm going to do what I'm doing.
Right, so the fight was derailed for a little while because of contractual stuff, boxing politics. We won't go into the boringness of that tonight. OK, we'll leave it. Let's just move on to the efficacy of you and him, Buatsi, meeting in a ring later this year. Do you believe you're on a collision course?
I believe. But for me, it's like, I still don't understand why we haven't got a fight date yet. I still don't understand, because there's all this talk about he had this to sort out, I had that to sort out. For me, it's all nonsense, because it was all meant to happen. And then he chose to fight somebody else. And then again, I was promised that the fight will happen after the Hutchison fight. And then my thing was sorted by then. Remember, let's go to Stamps. I thought he was there. He had already had his fight with Hutchison, so we was meant to fight. That was meant to be our next fight. Then he agreed to fight Smith. So let's not start, trying to swindle anything. We was meant to fight.
Are you worried that the Callum Smith was the #1 super middleweight in the world till Saul Canelo Alvarez took the belts away from him? He's 6'5". He's very comfortable at 175 pounds, light heavyweight. Are you worried that this could go wrong and that you maybe end up facing Callum Smith?
No, because my career is not the find-off for Joshua Buatsi. If anything, Joshua Buatsi's career has been, built off of my name. When Eddie Hearn done a very, very good job at promoting Joshua Buatsi, because as soon as he turned professional, he linked his name to mine. And I feel like that's why we're here now, because Eddie Hearn started that pot of the two fights happening. And for me, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. My career is not based on him. But I've tried to make the fight. No. There's no ooh. It's because it's becoming frustrating now, because same way he's saying he's not waiting when he wasn't waiting, I am definitely. I spoke to him face to face as well. I said, just tell me what it is so I can do my own thing. I'm not waiting for no person. Because if someone genuinely don't want to fight me, or they're being advised to go other routes, why am I waiting around?
Spence, we'd be so disappointed if that fight never happened.
So would I.
Listen, we're talking about legacies, and when you're talking about legacies, modern eras and British fights that should have happened that we didn't get happen, Joshua Buatsi, Anthony Yarde is up there, mate, because this fight should have happened a couple of years ago. Anthony's done the right thing, by the way, in saying, listen, I'm taking my own path. I know where I'm going. I've had a couple of world title shots already. He's had Kovalev and he had Beterbiev. He's looking to get that world title again, and he's going to take that career path. He's not waiting for anyone. So I totally understand what he's doing, but I do believe that you're both on this bill for a reason. I think if you both come through victorious, we do get that fight next, because
hopefully
it makes sense. It's public demand. People want to see that. Anyone
I
that
want
knows
to see
boxing,
this fight. I want to be involved in this fight. So it's frustrating when you've tried and you've done all these kind of things and you're trying to make it happen. I've spoken to Joshua Buatsi personally on the phone and face to face. So again, it was a bit disappointing that he chose to fight somebody else, etc. You can't say anything about money. I heard him mention something about money, because he would have got more money for fighting me. 100%, everyone knows that. For me, for now, my only focus is Lyndon Arthur. In the future, this fight is definitely going to happen, I believe.
You with Buatsi, Conor Benn with Eubank, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. It's one of those fights that you've just got to see. It's got to see. Look, let's bring up something else from this week's Talk Boxing with Simon Jordan and of course my colleague Spencer Oliver. Simon Jordan made a claim that you're open to moving up a weight division as well. Listen to this.
We've had him on the show, Spence. Lions in the room. Anthony Yarde. He's talking about, not fighting Josh Buatsi because it's Josh Buatsi's fault. He's fighting Callum Smith now. but he's now talking about potentially being open to the idea, as was Tundi, of going up to cruiserweight. Do you like that for Anthony Yarde?
Anthony Yarde?
Oh, listen. It's frustrating to me that people still question my character. I will fight anybody. I've proven that. I've shown that. As long as the situation becomes right, and I believe it's fair, I'm in the ring. I've shown that I fought Beterbiev in London. I went to Russia. I actually travelled to Russia to fight Kovalev in his own backyard.
Mate,
Tractor Town.
I've got it. Australia, Opataya, Anthony Yarde. Come on, any boxing fan wants that.
I'll fight anybody.
You're ranked 4 and above with all the sanctioning bodies. Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol go at it again on February the 22nd. If Beterbiev comes out on top, he'll have won 2 out of the 2 fights. He didn't like it the other day when I said I'd like Bivol to win because I want to see a trilogy. You probably don't want that either. Would you like to get back in with Beterbiev if he wins? Would you like to fight Bivol? Because these fights are enormous as well, Anthony.
100%. I've said it publicly. I've said it to myself first. I want the biggest fights out there. That's why I'm in the sport. I want legacy, and this is why I'm challenging people like Beterbiev. When he's got 100% knockout ratio, he was 18-0 when I fought him, or 17-0, all knockouts. They put his name there forward. I said, absolutely, put me in the ring with him. I don't care.
Did he win that first fight in your view? Will he win the second fight?
I did think he won the first fight, very small margin. I think in the second fight he actually could stop Bivol if he goes to the body more.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe.
I agree with you. I think that, Bivol's great at controlling that space, but Beterbiev is even better at taking that space away.
Yes.
And you two had fight of the year, man. Like, I'm telling you, I was commentating on that fight, and I was there, and I know looking into a fighter's eyes, and you're looking at the fighter as he was walking back to the corner after some of those rounds, I'm going, this kid is digging deep. He is digging deep. He is having to find something here. He went soul searching in a couple of those rounds. Don't care what anyone says. I saw it. And he knows it as well. He's going, I wasn't expecting this. He was surprised. He was surprised.
I saw a clip as well when he done an interview and they asked him about me, and he said he can tell that I prepared very well for that fight.
Yeah.
I asked him for the rematch immediately. We was both in the medic room getting stitches. I had like a little scratch underneath my eye. He had quite a big scratch on the top of his eye.
He did.
We were both getting stitches, and then I said to his translator, I want the rematch immediately. Like, it was such a good fight, let's get a rematch. He looked up at me and he said, no.
Yeah.
Because obviously he was going on to bigger things with becoming undisputed. Congratulations to him as well. But I've been calling for it. I wanted that rematch.
Sometimes you don't want to go over old ground, mate. When they're that tough, trust me, I've had fights like that where you just go, no thanks, mate, no. I'm done there.
Anthony, a big thank you for making the journey into talkSPORT Towers tonight. Don't go anywhere. We're discussing another superstar next, Noya Inoue, who knocked out yet another opponent yesterday. We'll break it down next on Fight Night on talkSPORT. Thank you, Anthony Yarde.
Thank you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.